Hello and welcome back. Steel Pinnings here once again, and today I have for you a large assortment of padlocks. And our theme for the day is going to be how to choose the right padlock. Plain and simple. There are so many different types, variations, of locking mechanisms, shackles, thicknesses, alloys, hardened, non types of metal casings, brass, steel, aluminum, even plastic. But we're gonna go with a fairly quick run through of what we consider for different types of applications, because the application is key. You may just simply say, I want that big sucker, I want that great big lock, bam, but you're trying to lock up your briefcase. No, you don't need that. You know better. You need a briefcase lock. And believe it or not, these are fairly cheap. You can choose your own bidding. There's not much to them, but they will keep someone out because there's 3 pins in it, but one of those pins is a spool pin even. And it's a fairly tight little tiny keyway, so it'll keep people out much better than the TSA locks. And it's something to choose for a briefcase or luggage. They have these, which is really nothing. It's not going to keep very many people out. If someone wanted in, they're going to get in. But the lock itself is very strong and sturdy because it is a master. But it's a simple, warded lock. There's no security to it. So you can move up to the number 5, right? Or I'm sorry, the number 3. And this one here is a fairly old one. Still the basic model of what they are, though, a laminated lock. But if you need one with some beef to it, they have those as well. It'll keep people from cutting that shackle. So now that little shackle is something much, much better. And Master Lock has many locks in just about every variety up here as well. They have their V-Line series. They also have the Pro series. They have a few of the Pro series models here. The 7035 and the 7045. It's 35 millimeter and 45 millimeter. And they have the American cores in them, which is going to be full of spools and serrated spools and serrated, and it gives a lot of picking protection. And these particular models are the CS models. It's a closed shackle, which is going to give you a lot more cut protection as well. And these would be good for locking up a bicycle, something along those lines. To move up a little bit higher would be this one, and it's the Pro Series 6841, but it has a brass body, but it has an interchangeable core. So if you had your house or something cord up the same way, you can have this cord up and have your house key open up your bike lock too. So that makes it kind of cool too. This one here is a much beefier version of that same thing. This one is a very heavy lock, weighs about a pound by itself. And just to show a point, you can add any core you want to it. That one's a nice WB core, nice and paracentric. Then there's Quicksets, and Quickset has their very popular Smart Key model, and it is a very good lock. It's a hard laminated lock. And picking it is not easy. It is a difficult pick, and the new Gen 3s are near impossible. There's only one guy who's done it, and we all know him, Chris Aarons, and one hell of a picker. Wow, man. And how he thought that one out and got it accomplished, kudos, buddy. Alright, and then we can move on to the more non-securical locks. These are aluminum, so it's not a tough steel, even though the shackle is still hardened. The case itself isn't. You probably whack through the case with a hacksaw in half the time it take to whack through the shackle. But also American core, so it's going to be full of those security pins, and they come in different models, different size shackles, and they also come in different sizes with different style cores, and you can beef up your cores and make it a much sturdier lock, but it's still a smaller, 6mm shackle, but they also move up, and you can get into these 73s with the weird, to most picker, tube locks, and of course all you have to do is find one with a good bitting, and those impressioners probably won't even be able to impression it with some good spring tension behind it as well. So it makes for a very good lock. They also have the closed shackle models. This is also solid steel, so it matches up with the master style here, like so. But you have to know what you're going to use them for, and all of these would be good for lockers, bicycle locks for sure, especially these bigger ones like these. Then there's the flat puck locks, and about every make makes these, and they are probably some of the more secure. I mean, there's just solid everything to it, to the little bitty shackle way down inside. And so your only access point would be here to pick the lock or to simply drill it out. But access to that is also usually difficult. And usually it makes it where they go after the case that makes the lock up itself, what it actually locks to, the bolts to it, or hardened rivets that are mounting it. They usually attack that so they can just pull the whole thing off before they mess with a lock so monstrous. You're not going to cut into that even with an angle grinder. You're just not going to happen. And you see those on, I've seen them on a lot of, believe it or not, like locksmith trucks. Or the repair guy trucks. Then you're going to have these type models, which is great for all weather, and it helps going to maintain your lock, really just the life of the lock. And also they have the mono series, and they all work for their own particular intentions. And if you vary from that intention, then you're going to give away from one thing to another. For say, you have to give some security for some easier access, or you have to gain or lose some security to gain for easier carry, that sort of thing. But we can move up from there into, like, you can get into the higher security locks with the cores, like, and get these type of cores with the Sargent Signature series here, which is a monster 6-pin, 6 side-pin, 2 sidebar monster core that's just not going to be picked. And they're just going to cut the shackle. They're not going to pick it. And then you're going to have like these, which is the Abus Granite, which is the insurance lock in Germany. You have to have this to maintain the minimum insurance on your moped, motorcycle, that type of thing. And an awesome, awesome lock. Disc detainer, near impossible to pick. You can go up from there into the Abloy series, which is a hardened steel casing, hardened steel shackle, and a core that is impossible thus far to pick. No one has done it. That is a nasty little key. This is the Protect 2, and it keeps you out. You're not going to pick that core, plain and simple. But you can grind through that shackle. So people go, well, I want to grind through the shackle. I'm going to get that big beefy monster, and I'm going to make it where they can't get to that shackle, right? So that helps out a heck of a lot. they're going to have to grind through that whole son of a gun. They're likely going to go through this this side here because it's less of a shackle guard to go through. But it makes it where they're going to try and pick it or just drill out that single core. American does make a core with hardened inserts in them for anti-drill that are just nasty monsters. And then some say, well, I'm going to use this one. So yeah, that's a reinforced shackle, you know. And then you're going to have, this is a multi-lock, and it has the pin-in-pin classic core in it. And this is a pickable core. They see this monster of a lock on there, they're going to go for that pick much quicker than they're going to go for the cut, even. So you have to decipher what you're going to want to lock up, what your need is, before you decide what lock you want. What I was saying before is some people are just going to jump just straight for that big monster, simply because of, it looks intimidating to me. Nobody's going to pick that. Then, you can go on to this beefy beast. This is a Sergeant and Greenleaf 831B 1974 model. Beautiful, beautiful lock. It has a 6-pin Medico core in it. And think about it, when that shackle or that chain is on, you're not... that's why the military uses it on their armories, plain and simple. Those are totally blast-proof. And you're not going to put that on your school locker in your in your gym. I'm sorry. It'll probably pull the latch off of the wall, off of the locker face first. Anyhow, so we're going to come down to a closing on this, as you need to decipher what you're going to lock, or what you need to lock, then how or where you're going to lock it, and then how you're going to lock it with, or what you're going to lock it with. And you'll have to determine your core. How good of a core do you want it? Do you want it pickable? A hard pick, easy pick? Find your happy medium. Whatever makes it work for you. And then you're going to decipher whether or not you need one that has that big beefy monster shackle so nobody can cut into it very easily. Or one they just can't get to, that sort of thing. Or one that they can't pick, and their little bolt cutters ain't going to cut through it either. Or you need one for all weather, that, lock up a chain gate in the pasture type of thing. This is what you want. Not so much this. Steel, even though it's all coated, will rust, and this will grime all up. You might go with a brass one to keep from the weather affecting it very much. And then you may never know, man. You may need to lock up some arms. Who knows? So it boils down to figure out what you got to lock up. Lock it up right. Don't have to go overboard. But if you do, don't go so much overboard that it costs you in other areas. I'm going to sign off with that. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys. Y'all please stay safe. Always stay legit. If you like this video and like what I do here, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, peace.